For this week's wine log, we'll take you wine tasting in the famous Napa Valley.
We didn't go to California.
Whoops, sorry, let's start over. For this week's wine log, we'll take you on a tour to the Niagara Peninsula in southern Ontario for an amazing wine and dine experience. Hi, from Toronto. My name is Angelina. I was born and raised in China and now have lived and worked in 4 different countries. In this channel, I want to share my journey with you, all the ups and downs, as well as the tips and tricks I picked up along the way. In today's video, I want to take you drinking and do a little wine tour in the Ontario wine region. And because it's always more fun to drink wine with company, introducing Rayful, he's going to make a guest appearance in this week's video.
Right, but I'm no expert. Just happen to be a wine lover, and over the past year, Angelina and I have drank a lot of wine, so we're happy to share with you what we've learned.
So right off the bat, where are the wine regions?
Well, in Ontario, there are actually 3 wine regions.
Okay.
So there's the largest and most famous is the Niagara Peninsula. This is located right next to Niagara Falls, and it's only an hour away from Toronto, so it's quite close. Then you've got 2 others that are smaller but have great wine as well. There's Prince Edward County, which is on the north shore of Lake Ontario, roughly about halfway between Toronto and Montreal. And then you've got the Lake Erie North Shore, which is the north shore of Lake Erie, located between Toronto and Windsor, Detroit.
Nice. And then, so how many wineries are there in the region?
I mean, there are new ones all the time. At this point, there are somewhere between 80 to 100 vineyards in the Niagara region alone.
That's incredible. What's so special about the climate, the region, that makes it so favorable for grape growth?
Well, when wine experts talk about favorable conditions for growing wine, they talk about 2 things, the terroir and then the climate. Okay, and Niagara happens to have both. So the terroir is, things like the minerality of the soil and the nutrients in the soil. And the region actually happens to be quite fertile. In fact, there are a lot of fruit farms in the area as well, growing peaches and cherries and strawberries, yes. Right? So it's a great region for growing. The second is the climate. Mm-hmm. And first of all, this happens to be one of the warmest parts of Ontario that gets a lot of sunshine every year, which is very important for growing grapes. Mm-hmm. And a couple things make that special. First of all, it's on the shore of Lake Ontario, mm-hmm. right? So there's a lot of warm air in the region. Nice. That warm air actually gets trapped by the Niagara Escarpment, which creates a little bit of a longer growing season. And the Niagara Escarpment actually creates a lot of slopes in the area that happen to be south or east facing, meaning that they get even more sun than flat ground. And so all these little things add up to make it a particularly attractive region for growing wine. That's amazing. And what are some of the grapes that grow really well here? Well, Niagara has always been really well known for its ice wine, but now it does everything. So traditionally, it would have been the Cab Franc and the Vidal grapes that you find in ice wine. But now we're seeing a lot of other varieties do very well. Cabernet Sauvignon, which has one of the longest growing seasons, we're seeing a lot of good wine. Baco Noir, Pinot Noir, Pinot Grigio, Sauvignon Blanc, Riesling, all of these grapes grow in Niagara. Almost everything can grow in the region, yeah. That's incredible. All right, enough with the talking. Let's go visit some wineries. Day 1, we drove to Calamus Winery for a date night after work. It is a very cool winery tucked away from the hustle and bustle of the busier parts of the wine country, and is one of our favorite spots to wind down and chill. You can sit in their open barn, which is over 200 years old, that overlooks the vineyard. They also have a bistro that offers great wood-fired pizza. In the summer, they often have live music. The wine we had is their signature Balls Falls Red, named after a waterfall located just adjacent to the property. The wine itself is very bold. We can smell black currant, cherries, plum, and can taste quite a lot of tannin. On the same property, there's also a smaller winery called 2027. They are less well known, but in our opinion, is one of the top wineries for whites. We especially love their Rieslings and Rosé. On day 2, we visited 2 wineries in the Niagara-on-the-Lake region, Stratus and Trius.
This region feels way more commercial but established to us. However, both wineries are still beautiful and have an amazing food. Day 3, first stop was at Featherstone. Okay, I love Featherstone. Not only because their logo is so pretty, they're also very low-key, rustic, down-to-earth. Their wine averages about $20 a bottle and are delicious. Definitely best value for a buck. Among the wine we sampled, we loved the Riesling. It has a very subtle but spicy note and some green apple scent. One of the fun facts about their Riesling is that it's called Black Sheep Riesling because they literally have a herd of sheep that eats grapevine leaves, therefore exposing the grapes to direct sunlight. This then brings the grapes with enhanced ripeness and a crisp of the green apple freshness. The other favorite is the rosé. You get lots of berry notes. Strawberry, blueberry, raspberry. Reminds me of our breakfast berry yogurt bowl. But it doesn't taste as sweet as smells and is just perfect.
Next up, we visited Creekside. Creekside is just so beautiful. Also one of our top favorites because of the chill vibe. We just sat next to the lily pond, talked, had some delicious burger, and sampled all of their sparkling wine and some cider. Among the sparklings, we love the Twinkle. It is made from Pinot Grigio. During the winemaking process, they actually stopped the ferment a bit early, so it is not as bubbly as a champagne, but there is also a sweet finish. The note is very subtle. It really took us a while, but we think we got a breeze scent from it. The other favorite, surprisingly, is the raspberry mint apple cider. It was so good. Very refreshing for the hot weather and has the right amount of sweetness. Last, but certainly not the least, we arrived at Pearl Morset. Pearl Morset is very, very, very special to us. It is the equivalent of a speakeasy for wineries. A little bit hard to find, but truly a hidden gem. There is no road sign except a vibrant sculpture of a cardinal. Why that bird, you ask me? I have no idea. Not only are they an excellent winery, they also have a farm-to-table, fine dining style restaurant. As a matter of fact, you can see their farm from your table. Unfortunately, they don't offer wine tasting at the moment due to COVID, but you can still have wine pairing with their 10-course dinner. And I guarantee you, the experience is out of this world. I literally felt like I was floating in the clouds at the end of dinner. For all the wines we tasted, we could not pick a favorite because everything was so delicious and paired so perfectly with the food. Wow, that was an amazing weekend that we had. We drank so much wine, visited so many wineries. It was amazing.
Yeah, and the great thing is that we brought a lot of great wine home with us, so the journey is not over yet. Let's enjoy some nice Ontario Riesling and have a great afternoon.
All right, cheers.
Cheers.
Bye.
New car smell.
Great. And my nose does not work anymore.